Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining me here tonight at this webinar about burnout specifically. Surprisingly, 65% UK workers suffer from burnout, and that's 11% higher than 2 years ago, which means 1 in 5 workers needed time off work due to mental health issues caused by work-related stress. However, the good news is, with proper techniques and knowledge, this battle can be won. My name is Martyna Jablonska and I am a confidence coach. I founded Academy of Confidence through pure passion of helping people achieving their goals, silencing their inner critic, and building their confidence. So today's webinar, Burnout and its Recovery, this topic is something I really care about, and I assume something we dealt with at some point of our lives. When I experienced my burnout, I completely didn't know what's going on with me and with my body. I didn't recognize the symptoms. I worked in property for 15 years. I loved my job. I never dropped a ball. I was very happy. So when I started procrastinating, when my workload started piling up, and when I started crying and feeling numb, then I realized that something is not right with me, but I couldn't really recognize and link it to any particular issue. So I was ignoring the symptoms and just kept going. And I remember this beautiful sunny day 2 years ago. I was standing outside the office, crying yet again on the phone to my partner. I couldn't tell him why I was crying. And that was the point where I realized that I need to do something about this. I can't go on like this for any longer. It's too exhausting, and my life was just ruined at that point. So next day, I reached out to a burnout coach, and with her help and support, I started slowly and surely getting back to my good old self. However, as much as I loved working in property and I loved the bus and everything, that life burned me out. And I at the same time realized that I need to do something, that this is a turning point for me. And I decided to reinvent myself. And because I had this big passion of empowering people, and especially women, helping them to just get on with their goals, I reinvented myself, and here I am, a confidence coach. So that's my story. And before we dive in, let's check our energy levels in the room. So if you would like to type a number from 1 to 10 in the chat, where the 1 is the lowest and the 10 is the highest, where is the energy tonight? Share it with us. 5, 6. Well, that's not too bad. That's not. It's Friday. It's evening, so the energy is going low. My energy is also slightly dropping at this point. So the numbness, the crying, the procrastinations. Oh, Alison, well done for joining us. Well done, girl. So this is a really good number for you. Well done. I hope you are feeling good. And thank you for the effort, and thank you for being here with us. Fantastic. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, it's great that you are here with us. Thank you so much. Okay, ladies, like I said, procrastination, numbness, crying. The crying was a big thing for me because I like to have a little cry from time to time, but not every day and not for unknown reason. So there were my signs. And because nobody told me about burnout before, it's very important to recognize your signs and to start doing something about them before you really go down the hill. So maybe I can share my screen now. So let's talk about what burnout actually is and how it differs from stress. So stress is having too much, too fast. You are still engaged, but still firing, and you can usually recover with a proper rest. Have a nice weekend away, feet up, watch Netflix, and you are back to normal. Burnout, however, is having nothing left. It's a term to describe mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion. The World Health Organization describes it as an occupational phenomenon that typically arises from chronic work stress that hasn't been successfully managed. And burnout, unfortunately, doesn't get better on its own. If left unmanaged, it can lead to chronic health issues like heart disease or depression. And sadly, it can also affect your relationships and overall well-being. So most main main causes of burnout: lack of clarity of responsibilities, excessive workload, poor recognition for your efforts, bullying or harassment at work, toxic workplace culture, and that was in my case. My last workplace was extremely toxic, and I think that added to everything. Job insecurity, and constant deadlines. We live in the world where we are constantly chasing our deadlines. There are also personal factors that can increase the risk. And those are lack of quality rest and lack of hobbies. And I appreciate we all have very busy lives and we have commitments and responsibilities, but it's really important to have this me time or time with our friends or have hobbies or passions that take away our mind and bring us joy, to bring joy to our lives. Holding high expectations towards ourselves, we really aim too high sometimes. It's good to aim high, but if you are putting too much pressure on yourself and trying to compare yourself with your neighbors, friends, or social media, that puts a lot of pressure on our mind. And the last one, but very important one, is caregiving responsibilities. The heavy emotional and physical toll of looking after our kids, after our aging parents or sick relatives can have really, really heavy impact on our mental health. So researchers recognize 5 stages of burnout. And as I go through them, just privately, don't share it, see where you recognize yourself. The first stage, beautiful name, honeymoon. You are very happy, you are full of enthusiasm, you love your job, full of commitment, no problem. Then onset of stress. Some days are harder, you are more tired, your productivity can be slightly reduced, you are more irritable, struggle to focus, and your appetite can change. Either you eat less or you eat more. The quality of sleep can also drop, unfortunately. And this happened to me as well. I normally sleep very well, but at that point of my life, it was a disaster. Chronic stress. That is a big one because the stress becomes persistent. It's your everyday occurrence. You may feel resentful, cynical towards your work, towards your colleagues, towards the company you work for. And I think I was like that a little bit as well. So I can relate to this. And you start procrastinate. And for me, procrastination was a big thing. I was always on top of everything at my work. But when I started, when the first symptoms, including the procrastination, started showing up, that was a big thing for me. I just didn't know where to start at some point because my inbox was just growing arms and legs. And the very last stage, this is habitual burnout. This is your baseline. You feel numb, hopeless, exhausted. And this is your default setting, unfortunately. And at this stage, if you haven't reached out for help yet, you have to seek help and support. So it doesn't go deeper and deeper. Your burnout, if you had it or if you didn't, may not look like mine. I didn't know what was going on, but the skill is to know your signals. And burnout shows up in three places: at work, where everything begins, in your mind, and in your body. So at work, the procrastination, which I've mentioned a million times already, the constant cynicism. You, like I said before, you are very critical and cynical about your workload, about your colleagues, about your boss. Everything is just wrong. You don't like being there. You don't want to do the job anymore. You go quiet. You don't engage in meetings anymore. And you withdraw yourself socially. And I withdrew myself socially from my friends, and not only work. Work was one thing, but socially, I just stopped participating in any social gatherings. And I am very social. I love being around people. You miss deadlines and you make uncharacteristic for yourself mistakes. You used to be this queen of spreadsheet, never made a mistake. And all of a sudden, mistake after mistake, and you don't know why. And you have difficulty starting tasks that you used to fly through. Then your mind. You have a brain fog. You have difficulty with concentrating. You become forgetful. And you have a short fuse. You snap about over small things at people. And you feel detached from work and your accomplishments. And you are just going through motions. And the last place, your body. You don't get a good rest, even if you manage to get a good night's sleep. And normally, because your body and your mind are so tired, it's very difficult to wake up properly rested. Your immune system is compromised, and you probably will catch most of colds, and the recovery time is also longer. The broken sleep, which I mentioned, usually wake up 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and that was in my case, 2 o'clock, bang, every night. Woo, let's start it. Let's start the party. and I couldn't get back to sleep. It was hell. I think it's very important, since we are only ladies in this group, to mention that those symptoms, and you probably noticed that, they are very similar to symptoms of perimenopause or menopause, like the brain fog, like the broken sleep, like low mood, feeling touched out, suddenly struggling with stress, crying. In my case, this crying was just impossible to manage. These symptoms will be easily mixed with hormonal changes that happen in your body. So it's very important you reach out to your GP and discuss it. I did it. I went and I spoke with my GP, and she said my hormones are perfectly okay. Nothing to do with perimenopause. So because of that, I was still confused. So what is going on here? But I am a coach. I am not a doctor. So I highly advise you, if you see those symptoms in your body and mind, speak with professional. So this is the time when we were meant to have the breakout room, but because it's just six of us, I thought maybe it will be a good idea if we share our experiences. If some of you had maybe went through burnout, or maybe know someone who did it, it will be very nice and good to hear other stories. If you are not comfortable with speaking, maybe you can type and we can read your story. That would be lovely, I think. What do you think, ladies? So, like I said, there is distinction between stress and burnout. And a bubble bath, although lovely, and please have them as many as you want. They won't make any harm, but they're not gonna solve the issue, unfortunately. Uh, these tools, there will be a lot, but don't try all of them. It's just pick those that you think will fit best for you. So if work is your primary stressor, I would highly advise to take some time off, and take as much as possible. It's impossible to recover from burnout within a week or two. You really need a proper rest, and that's what I did. I took, well, to be honest with you, I just quit because I knew that I just can't deal with it anymore. And I decided I need a proper time off. And I gave myself 2 months. And I think that was a substantial, a good time for me to recover. And then I got back to, I reinvented myself. I started learning, training, etc. But I haven't done anything. I didn't do anything work-wise for 2 months. And so if you can afford, if you can do it, just step away for as much as you can, and use this time, please use this time for yourself, to recover, to recharge your batteries. Don't catch up on your chores. This is not a recovery, catching up on your chores, okay? And learn to say no. It's very difficult, I know, to say no. Review your commitments and drop anything that is not strictly necessary. Trust me, saying no is difficult, I know, but the more you practice, the more you learn, your life becomes easier. Start with the main thing, sleep. A consistent wake up time, and especially consistent bedtime. Try 11, 10, 11 o'clock at night. If you want to go earlier, Perfect. But try not to stay up too late. 12 o'clock, your body likes going to rest before midnight. This is when the recovery happens in your organs. And I highly advise you, I know it's difficult, I highly advise you to have your phone in another room. Don't keep your phone in your bedroom. I tried it. Extremely difficult because I always wanted to grab my phone and check what's going on in news, social media, but it's not good. So try to leave it in your living room or kitchen or wherever. Don't take it with you. And if you need alarm clock because you need to get up in the morning, school run, etc., invest in old school alarm clock. And have a wind down half an hour before going to bed, but without your devices. This is crucial. Have a book, read a book, meditate, think of anything, something really relaxing for your brain so you are not distracted by your devices. Exercise. I know we don't like exercising. I'm not a big fan of exercises too, but it's good for you. And start gently. Walks, yoga, swimming, Pilates. There are mainly women things. So, for example, for Alison's husband, probably walking if he's not up for yoga or Pilates, and start slow. If you are really not up for exercising, baby steps, 10, 5 minutes. Well, maybe if you are going for a walk, start with 10, 15 minutes and then build up. You start enjoy, you will start see the difference. I saw the difference myself. And I saw the difference at my dad's because my dad is quite overweight. This is nothing to do about burnout, but walking. And when he started walking, slowly but surely, he started breathing better. His breathing become better. So walking is really, really good for you. And start learning about breathing exercises. They really help. I was quite skeptical about the whole breathing thing, but when I started practicing very easy and simple breathing exercises, they really calm you down. Don't go for any crazy cardio exercises because it's cardio, heavy cardio like HIIT exercises. Those are stress to your body. You don't want to add another stress to your already poor stressed body. Okay? So nice and gentle. Look into your diet. Maybe some changes would be good to implement. Focus on whole foods, complex carbs. They maintain steady blood sugar levels, which prevents from mood swings and energy dips. Lean protein, healthy fats and vegetables. These are all good. I know they sound boring, but they're good for you. And stay hydrated. Water and herbal teas. I'm not a big fan of herbal tea, but sometimes it's nice to have a chamomile tea, to calm you down. They've got nice soothing and calming effects. Try avoid alcohol and caffeine when you are burnout because they just mess up with your stress and they mess up with your sleep, and your sleep is already affected, badly affected. So adding another factor, maybe not the best idea. Sweets, if you have a sweet tooth, perfect, but try to go for dark chocolate. 70% cocoa, and it's still sweet, and there is loads of different on the market. You can get with chili, with I think chili flakes, or with salt flakes. Try to avoid the refined sugar and ultra processed food. And very top food for stress relief and burnout are fatty fish like mackerel and salmon. They are rich in omega-3 acids, and they are great for inflammation. Fermented food, there is a big hype for fermented food, and me as a Polish girl, I was brought up on fermented food, so sauerkraut, yogurt, kefir, kimchi, or kombucha, fermented tea, which sounds gross, but it's actually quite nice. They are great for your gut health. Really, really recommend them. Bananas. We think, oh, just banana. What's in there? Nothing. Well, actually, they are full of vitamin B6, which is fantastic for mood regulation, and good old oats. I was very skeptical about oats, but now I just can't imagine my breakfast without porridge. And they are very comforting, as we know, either cold or warm, especially warm. And they are rich in fiber, and they have a low glucose index, which stabilizes your blood sugar levels. And berries. Porridge with berries. Fabulous. Blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. Big choice. They are full of antioxidants, the same as dark chocolate, I forgot to mention. Dark chocolate also full of antioxidants. They fight with our wrinkles too, so loads of benefits. Okay, so that's the heavy load, what to do. And think about your boundaries between work life and your professional life. Establish these clear boundaries. Don't have your work emails on your phone when you are sitting and chilling on the sofa and then, checking your emails. I was guilty of that. I was, too curious, too nosy. Oh, I will check what's happening, what's waiting for me tomorrow, what I will have to deal with. No, don't do that. I stopped doing that, and it's really good, honestly. The world will survive without you checking emails, work emails all the time. Trust me. So turn the email notification after your working hours. You can answer them tomorrow, and try to implement. I think I went too far. Try to implement the 4 Ds, which is drop it, delegate it, defer it, and diminish it. And trust me, your life will get easier. Another practical advice from me, how to deal with your racing mind. Like I said before, try to remove your devices, especially your phone, from your bedroom. We know that we don't allow our kids to have phones before they go to bed. So let's set an example here. Have a notebook by your bed. I know it maybe sounds boring and old-fashioned, but it's a good way to brain dump your racing thoughts. When you wake up at this, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with racing minds, million minutes a minute per minute, just open your notepad and just put everything what's going through your mind, and you can get back to it in the morning next day. But forget about the phone. Have a daily worry window. Excuse me. 10 minutes or 15 minutes window for your worries. Dedicated only. Don't worry for the whole day because it's just waste of time. And remember, anxiety is your mind worries about the future. Anxiety is when you think about things that haven't happened yet, and you put yourself into anxiety mode. I always tell myself when I get myself into anxiety mode, Martina, this hasn't happened yet. You have no evidence that things will go wrong. So why do you worry about something that hasn't? You don't have evidence about, if this will go wrong or right. So just relax. And I know it's very easy said, but please remember, your mind is a very powerful instrument. Honestly, you can do anything with your mind, what you want, anything you want. It's just you have to just exercise it. The same way you exercise your muscles when you go to the gym. Your muscle when you go to the gym, it's not going to grow overnight. You have to keep repeating the exercise. And it's the same with your brain. Keep repeating, keep doing the same things and stay positive. So eventually you will redirect your mind on a positive track. So the worry window, 10-15 minutes, allow yourself for worrying. And that's it. You don't need any more. Why? Life's too short to worry for the whole day. Um, if you are awake for more than 20 minutes, the chances of going back to sleep immediately are pretty slim. So instead of tossing and turning and getting more annoyed with yourself and checking the clock and oh my God, I need to get up soon, this is not gonna work. You need to get up. You need to have your lights, keep your lights low, and do something dull. Read a boring book, or I don't know, do some knitting, whatever. Stay away from your phone, please. But something boring, and have a glass of milk, warm milk, and hopefully you will nicely go back to bed because you will eventually get tired of this boredom. So, ladies, this recovery tool, although it's a recovery, I think it's good to call it also a prevention toolkit because everything we talked about here, uh, there are things that we should really be doing before we get hit by burnout. This is not a rocket science, although it was for me when I discovered what's going on with me. But I think the sooner we start implementing those habits, the exercise, the sleep without phone, the diet. Like I said, pick some. Don't do everything because it's like listening 10,000 podcasts, every day and thinking, oh my God, which one should I go for? Which advice is best for me? That's too much. Just pick few. And the sooner you start implementing these, changing the habits, your body and mind will thank you. They will. And I was a few years ago, I was very skeptical about all this healthy eating, exercising. Um, and then when I started making changes, then I realized it's actually not too bad for me. And I really appreciate good night's sleep these days, to be honest. And it doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, it's like, wow, I managed. And my last advice for you, please don't do it on your own if you can. Have support. Your family, your friends, your partner, uh, have them around them, and let them help you. I did it on my own, and it wasn't fun. You probably figured out that my accent is not from here. I'm Polish. As I lived in Edinburgh for 22 years, and I have my family here. But as it happened when I was going through my hardest time of burnout, I was here on my own, and and it was difficult, especially the crying. I mean, maybe good for my family and my partner that they didn't have to deal with the crying, because I think maybe that would be too much for them. But seek support, seek professional help as well, if you feel like you
Mayonnaise,
can't keep
boiling
up.
water, and you'll be amazed at the result. Place 5 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Sorry about
Okay,
that. It's just me
that's
again there.
okay. That's okay. So yes, so if you feel like you are struggling to cope on your own, seek help. Honestly, nothing wrong with asking for help. Okay, so we had our time to our moment to share our your experiences. This was the time when, if the group was bigger, I wanted to us to share the experience. But maybe you have any questions to me. I will be more than happy to answer.